Yo, what is going on, everyone? So today we're gonna take a look at BitTorrent BTT. Check it out, see what it has been doing because the past few weeks it made all-time highs, and now we saw quite a bit of a sell-off. But now we actually see that it has decided to bounce back. So let's actually take a quick look at the charts, and then I'll look over the overall markets, give you guys some overview on BitTorrent just in case you've never seen it before, and then I'll just give you my thoughts on this. And remember, this video is for entertainment purposes only. This is not financial advice. Be sure to do your research before making any investments. But looking at the chart right now, so I'm using the 1 hour chart with Binance for the exchange, and currently we can see this. So for the most part, if we were to scroll back out, basically we can see that the low point, the lowest wick of the candlestick was at pretty much looks around 0.0042, and seems like people decided to buy back in on this dip, and now we can see that it did touch. If I zoom in here, it did slightly tap through and go above the 50 MA, and now we have it currently hovering around this price point at 0.00642. So just looking at the overall history right now, so this is just a short time frame, pretty much from March till today, and looking at it right here, I'll just go at the low points, and we can see that the increase in the price at this high point was around, looks like, let me see if I get exactly on this line, around 1200 plus percent gain. So that's quite an insane gain in such a short period of time. And for the most part, there was really no stoppage. Like, it was pretty much spiked up, consolidated for a bit, and then boom, surges way back up to the all-time highs, and then finally we see the sell-off. Now, looking at this current sell-off, obviously that's a healthy thing to see. It's not ideal for this just to continue to go up and up and up, because eventually someone is going to take profits, and that's going to cause the pretty much avalanche effect, and next you know it, everybody starts to freak out and they start selling too. But it seems like for the most part, comparing this to some other cryptocurrencies that had a massive surge in price, it seems like people did decide to buy back in again at this area, and then it's like a 1 cent mark, and then it sells off again, but now we bounce back. There's some other charts I've seen for other cryptocurrencies where they had the similar increase in the price where it spikes up like crazy, but they just free fall back down, and there's not much support holding it. So at least looking at this chart overview on the 1 hour, it looks like we did build some support around this area. We weren't able to pretty much continue breaking out of here, so we did bounce off around this area, this price point at 0.005, give or take. And now we just have it currently, we have like a green candlestick forming at this price point. So again, depending on which chart you're looking, it could look slightly different. But for instance, like if you were to switch to like the 1 day chart and get like a more of an overview, I mean, we can pretty much see we dipped below the 50 MA. RSI is hovering around the middle, so it's not too overbought or too oversold. But for the most part, we seem like we did close, and we're currently above the 50 MA still. So as long as I think we're above the 50 MA, that's a good sign. If this were to continue to downtrend and we start dipping below the 50 MA, then that's not going to look too good for BitTorrent. But one thing to consider is that the overall market, Bitcoin itself, is taking a massive beating. Like, it's sub 50K right now. So for these other cryptocurrencies to see a massive surge in price again, reaching the all-time highs, I would wait until Bitcoin does something first before I'd say that's going to happen. But just overall right now, it's a pretty good sign that it did dip below 50 MA, but it's currently trading above right now. So again, only time will tell if this were to continue to trade sideways, or if this were to start downtrending. Once we dip below the 50 MA, then we could form some new support around this candlestick right here, because there's a lot more there, and then obviously the next levels are right in this area here. But within this range, there's really nothing that's stopping it from falling down again, because there's really only like 1 or 2, 3 candlesticks at this area. So we'll have to wait and see. But if this were to bounce back and for some reason new whales come in, new buyers come in, and the demand just slightly increases, then we could see this start trending. And I'd like to see us test the first high point, which is around 69% gain, give or take, maybe 70% gain. And then from the current price point today, and then next step after that, this breaking up the all-time highs here, 112 plus percent gains. So looking at that amount and what we would need to entail, let's actually hop over to CoinMarketCap and see what is required for that. Because also notice the volume. Back when it did surge in price, the volume that's here, the green bars right there, massive amounts of volume buying in. Slight sell-offs, but for right now, there's not really that many green bars right now. So in terms of the buy volume, I'd have to see more traded, or else, I mean, we'd have to just pretty much go sideways for a bit. But looking at the overall market right now, look at this market. It's bloodbath today. Everything is just down in the red. So don't be too surprised if whatever altcoin or cryptocurrency you're in is not doing crazy good, right? Because literally the top ones are taking a beating too. Just red sea today, guys. So Bitcoin's at 49 point, pretty much sub 50. And let's just type in BTT and let's just see what's the current market cap today? Because I believe it was like around 30 plus ranked last time I checked. Currently now we're at 30, rank 32. Market cap's at $4.2 billion. So remember when I showed you if we were to go back and break these high points here and then also obviously here, you would just mathematically add 70% to 100 plus percent to that current market cap. And then obviously the volume, I mean, you can see the volume has been up in the last 24 hours, which is a good sign. And it's 3 bill. That's literally $3 billion being traded. And if you want to see that like a more detail view, go to markets here and then you scroll down and pretty much you can see the dominating exchanges. But it looks like it's spread out fairly good. It seems like Binance and then Huobi is dominating most of the volume traded. So 24% here, 18% here, and then the rest are just spread out between these other exchanges. So you can see 720 mil and then 544 mil being traded. So in terms of liquidity, still super liquid. There's so many people trading this right now, billions of dollars worth pretty much. So I think if the demand were to even increase higher in terms of the trading volume, then I wouldn't be surprised if seeing this price actually start to go back and increase. But until then, we'll have to wait and see. And then also just looking really quick at the RSI, we're still hovering around the middle price point. So there is still room for this to continue to sell off. But there's not really an indication saying that it's overbought either. So we're still kind of like in the middle. We're kind of just waiting to see if a better indication. So if this were to continue downtrend, we could see it maybe form some support around the 50 MA. That would be nice. So again, this is the 1 day chart. So it's going to take a couple of days for us to see that data. But at least right now, it seems like this green candlestick's forming. That is a better sign. But until then, we'll have to wait. But just looking again, just some overall fun facts in case you guys just haven't realized or have no idea. We can see BitTorrent X here. And it's literally the amount of users here. 2 billion people behind this. 200 million wallets. And then 100 million MAUs. Now, you don't have to know what this is, but just know the users, the wallets, there's actual use cases, there's actual people utilizing BitTorrent and their services. So when it comes to the future and what they're trying to build, and the overall, I'd say, performance of BitTorrent's price in the charts is something that you have to wait for the long term to see its true value. But if you're looking at this like a short-term trade, obviously, that's, you have to look at that yourself. But in general, the company's been out for so many years, decades pretty much, and they have big companies behind them too. You can see who they're used by. So just note that the actual company is quite legit in my opinion. So the use cases for this to continue to do well, it's just time will tell. This is very different from other cryptocurrencies that people sort of just like bought in, went super high, but the use cases are very minimum. So just keep that in mind. But overall, these are just my thoughts on BitTorrents. And definitely let me know what your price predictions are in the comments below. Be sure to smash the like button, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.